General Hospital is Valentin leaving, flees with Charlotte to avoid arrest. Welcome to my channel General Hospital, where you can get news about. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow, and I am your buddy. Now, let's get started. This week on General Hospital, Valentin Cassadine's James Patrick Stewart. Fate hangs in the balance as his position as the head of pikemen is exposed. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, is privy to Valentin's involvement in the illegal arms running scandal through the port of Port Charles, a scheme previously aimed to assassinate Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard. However, Jagger Cates, Adam Harris, erroneously believes Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, to be the head of pikemen. Despite this misconception, Anna is fully aware of Valentin's guilt and has even managed to steal his encrypted satellite phone. Yet, her resolve wavers due to the return of his daughter, Charlotte Cassadine, Scarlett Fernandez. Will Valentin remain in Port Charles, or will he flee to avoid arrest, leaving his daughter behind? In the coming episodes, this storyline will continue to unravel, offering viewers a thrilling blend of drama and suspense on General Hospital. Will Valentin stay in Port Charles, or will he escape to evade arrest and leave his daughter behind? As the storyline unfolds in upcoming episodes, viewers can expect a captivating mix of drama and suspense on General Hospital. Get all your daily General Hospital spoilers and news here at Soap Dirt, and stay tuned for updates on your favorite characters' fates. The sun was setting over Port Charles, casting long shadows across the familiar streets and landmarks. The air was thick with tension as the citizens of this small town went about their lives, blissfully unaware of the drama unfolding at Windermere. Valentin Cassadine, the enigmatic and often morally ambiguous heir to the Cassadine fortune, paced nervously in the grand foyer of his estate. His daughter, Charlotte, watched him with wide, worried eyes. At 12 years old, Charlotte was already wise beyond her years, having grown up amidst the secrets and schemes of the Cassadine family. Valentin's mind raced as he contemplated his next move. Recent events had put him in a precarious position, and he knew he had to act quickly to protect his daughter. "Papa, what's wrong?" Charlotte's voice trembled slightly, betraying her fear. Valentin stopped pacing and knelt before her, taking her small hands in his. "Charlotte, sweetheart, we need to leave. It's not safe here anymore." Charlotte's eyes widened further. "Are we in danger?" Valentin nodded, his expression grave. "Yes, my love. But I promise you, I will keep you safe. Always." Valentin's troubles had begun weeks earlier when he became the prime suspect in a high-profile murder investigation. The victim, a prominent figure in Port Charles, had been found dead under mysterious circumstances, and all evidence seemed to point to Valentin. Despite his protests of innocence, the authorities were closing in on him, and an arrest seemed imminent. The night before, Valentin had received an anonymous tip that the police were planning to raid Windermere at dawn. He had no choice but to flee with Charlotte and go into hiding. The idea of leaving his home, his friends, and everything he knew was heartbreaking, but Valentin's primary concern was Charlotte's safety. Packing quickly, Valentin gathered a few essential items, including documents, cash, and clothing. He instructed Charlotte to do the same. As they hurriedly prepared to leave, Valentin's mind raced with memories of the life they were leaving behind. He thought of Nina, his estranged love, and the friends and allies who had stood by him through thick and thin. But there was no time for regret. Survival was paramount. The dark of night provided the perfect cover for their escape. Valentin had arranged for a boat to be waiting at the pier, ready to take them away from Port Charles and to a safe location where they could lay low until he could clear his name. He knew the risks were high, but staying meant certain arrest and separation from Charlotte, something he could not bear. As they approached the pier, Valentin cast a wary eye around, scanning for any signs of pursuit. Satisfied that they were not being followed, he helped Charlotte onto the boat and quickly untied it from the dock. The boat's engine roared to life, and they sped away from the familiar shores of Port Charles. Charlotte sat beside him, clutching her backpack tightly. "Where are we going, Papa?" Valentin forced a reassuring smile. "Somewhere safe, sweetheart. Just trust me." After hours on the water, Valentin steered the boat into a secluded cove, hidden from prying eyes. A small cabin, which Valentin had prepared for emergencies, stood nestled among the trees. It was far from the luxury of Windermere, but it would serve their needs for the time being. But as the days turned into weeks, the isolation and uncertainty began to take their toll. Valentin's thoughts often turned to his predicament and the people he had left behind. He knew he needed to find a way to prove his innocence and return to Port Charles, but he was running out of time and options. Back in Port Charles, the news of Valentin and Charlotte's disappearance spread quickly. Nina Reeves, Valentin's former lover, was devastated. Despite their tumultuous past, she still cared deeply for Valentin and was determined to find him and help clear his name. Nina enlisted the help of her friends and allies, including Ava Jerome and Anna Devane. Together, they began to investigate the circumstances surrounding the murder and the evidence against Valentin. It became clear that someone had gone to great lengths to frame him, but the question was, who? Meanwhile, the real killer, a cunning and ruthless individual with their own agenda, watched the events unfold from the shadows. They had orchestrated the entire plot to eliminate Valentin and seize control of the Cassadine fortune. But with Nina and her team closing in, the stakes were higher than ever. Nina and her team worked tirelessly, following leads and uncovering new evidence. Their persistence paid off when they discovered a crucial piece of information: a witness who had seen the real killer leaving the scene of the crime. The witness, a reluctant informant, had been coerced into silence, but was now willing to come forward and testify. Armed with this new evidence, Nina and her team approached the authorities. They presented their findings, and the case against Valentin began to unravel. The police issued a warrant for the real killer's arrest, and efforts to locate Valentin and Charlotte intensified. Valentin and Charlotte were fishing by the stream when they heard the distant sound of a helicopter. Valentin's heart raced as he looked up to see the familiar markings of a Port Charles police chopper. Relief washed over him, but he knew their ordeal was not yet over. The helicopter landed nearby, and Nina, accompanied by Anna Devane, stepped out. Valentin and Charlotte ran to them, tears of joy and relief streaming down their faces. Nina hugged them both tightly, her heart aching for all they had been through. "We found the real killer, Valentin," Nina said, her voice filled with emotion. "You're free. You can come home." Valentin felt a weight lift off his shoulders. "Thank you, Nina. I knew you wouldn't give up on me." With the real killer in custody and Valentin exonerated, life in Port Charles slowly returned to normal. Valentin and Charlotte moved back to Windermere, where they tried to rebuild their lives. The experience had brought them closer, and Valentin was more determined than ever to be a good father to Charlotte. Nina and Valentin's relationship, while complicated, also found new ground. They decided to take things slow, focusing on rebuilding trust and understanding. Nina's unwavering support had been instrumental in clearing Valentin's name, and he was eternally grateful. The people of Port Charles, always resilient, moved forward as well. The ordeal had reminded them of the importance of community and standing by those they cared about. Valentin's journey from fugitive to exonerated man had been a roller coaster of emotions, but in the end, justice had prevailed. Months passed, and the scars of the past began to heal. Valentin and Charlotte found a new rhythm in their lives, one that was filled with hope and promise. Valentin remained vigilant, knowing that the world of the Cassadines was never without its challenges, but he was determined to protect his daughter and provide her with a stable and loving home. Nina and Valentin's relationship continued to grow. They spent time together, rediscovering the bond that had once brought them together. It wasn't always easy, but they were committed to making it work. As for the real killer, they faced the full extent of the law. Their attempt to frame Valentin and seize the Cassadine fortune had failed, and they were now paying the price for their crimes. In the end, the ordeal had strengthened Valentin's resolve and deepened his appreciation for the people who had stood by him. He knew that life would always be unpredictable, but he was ready to face whatever challenges came his way. As he looked out over the waters of Port Charles, with Charlotte playing nearby and Nina by his side, Valentin felt a sense of peace. The future was uncertain, but he was surrounded by love and support, and that was all he needed. The sun set over Port Charles, casting a warm glow over the town. For Valentin Cassadine, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, redemption, and the promise of better days to come.